let's get to work on the Monty Show, because I think this story on the college football playoff, it's going exactly to plan, in my opinion. I think you're going to get a situation. The college football playoff's going to expand. Stop with this nonsense with all these national writers and, the Pete Thamols. It's Pete Thamel. The Pete Thamols of the world. Like,
right, we have Feinbaum.
I'm watching Feinbaum the other day. Well, maybe and I know this is crazy, and I hate to say this out loud on the show. Paul Feinbaum's been right about this from the jump, because he said,
what are you talking about, man?
What Greg Sankey wants, Greg Sankey gets. The Godfather wants an expanded playoff, and I think he's going to get it. And you look at the reporting on this, and we've been telling you for months now that Greg Sankey is hell or high water. The SEC is going to get more teams in the college football playoff. And again, I understand I'm the SEC guy on this show, and I throat Greg Sankey every chance I get.
Knee pad union.
But I'm telling you now, do you understand what a flex it was yesterday when the SEC released this schedule? Do you have, this ended the debate. This nonsense about, who is what, and hey, that nonsense is over. The SEC is the best football product in the country. And
for real.
I don't know how you argue that. You look at what I continue to tell you about schedules in the Big Ten. You look at the fact that you have cupcakes and Indiana plays nobody and yet still gets a spot on a one-hit wonder into the college football playoff. And then you look at these rivalries. Look at the rivalries. Look at the way that the SEC is protecting their biggest television matchups and revenues, and Alabama and Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee. You look at Georgia and Auburn, Georgia, Florida, between the hedges. You like every game you want. Texas, Texas A&M, Texas and Oklahoma, Tennessee, Alabama, South Carolina, and Kentucky. Like, you need these games. And it is very clear to me that the SEC is acutely aware of that. And all this schedule release was a flex by the SEC to say, we're not going anywhere, because the best teams in the SEC, and arguably outside of Ohio State, the best teams in the SEC are the best teams in the country. And you start looking at the conversations we've been having on this show. And how many times have I told you these conference commissioners collab? They talk on a regular basis. How many times have I told you Greg Sankey and Brett Yormark are having conversations on a regular basis?
Well, how is that possible, Monty? They hate each other and they never talk. What do you mean?
Well,
come on.
But then you start hearing these stories, and it's every day now. And I know you guys think I'm just being a red ass and you always take credit for everything. What have I told you about the college football playoff? That the Power Four conferences are going to figure out how to expand the college football playoff. All this nonsense about, well, maybe it stays at 12. It's not staying at 12. It was never staying at 12. I've told you that these commissioners talk on a regular basis, even though the jackwagons want to tell you, oh, they hate each other and they're competitors. And yeah, it turns out that's not the case. And now today, Ross Stellinger essentially tweets what I've been telling you for a month, that the P4 commissioners are working together, led by Greg Sankey, to find a solution. And that what we continue to tell you is the Big Ten is on the outside looking in. And what do you have? The Big Ten ADs are circulating a concept to grant the P4 AQs in a 20-plus team playoff format. So you have the ACC, the Big 12, and really it's Brett Yormark and Greg Sankey. And remember, you heard it here first months ago. Greg Sankey and Brett Yormark and other like-minded folks, Jim Phillips occasionally, are trying to find a solution that they believe can work for all of college football. and you've got the Big Ten coming up with a as many as 32 team playoff that's going to be divided equally amongst the four Power Four conferences. I don't know how many other ways we can say the Big Ten can continue to work to try and keep the SEC from gaining more influence that they've earned, frankly, in my opinion, over the college football playoff. But it's a fait accompli, man. It is Aaron Rodgers, ipso facto, man. The SEC schedule's better. The SEC plays bigger, more important, better viewership games. And the Big Ten just simply does not. They don't. You look at the schedule on a regular basis. On a regular basis, Ohio State plays the only game of consequence in that conference on a week in and week out basis. And I got to tell you, that's not probably going to change anytime soon, because I look at even like Illinois USC. Is that really a game that game is this weekend in Champaign? Is Illinois USC a game where you're like, well, goddamn, honey, we got to schedule, the smash fest around USC Illinois.
No, there's only one game in the Big Ten this week.
And what is it, Jake?
Cock on Thigh versus Dan Lanning.
And I think Ohio State and Washington is one of the biggest games of the weekend, because I personally believe, and I agree with you, there's no doubt that Knuckle Deep Boys hosting Oregon is a huge game.
But there's no doubt that there's a conversation to be had about Washington not being talked about in any conversation.
I'm telling you, Washington is a much better football, but we'll get to that. But my point is, how big is LSU at Ole Miss this week?
Well, I mean, I think, I think, obviously it's a big game, but I think that
Alabama, Georgia.
The way I like to categorize this, first of all, this is definitely one of the best weeks in college football in the season this year. So, I mean, If you haven't looked at the schedule, you're living under a rock. Look at the schedule, plan your weekend around it. Make sure you clear the schedule, because this is going to be a great weekend on TV. But yeah, I mean, I think when you look at the matchups in the SEC, the biggest difference for me is that that word compelling, right? Bama versus any top tier SEC team is a compelling game, right? That could be Bama, Georgia, Bama, LSU, Bama, Texas, Bama, like any of those teams. That's going to be a matchup that I'm really interested in. I think that the advantage that the SEC has, in my estimation, over the Big Ten is that when you get, like, let's say Kentucky, Ole Miss, that game theoretically on paper is not like some incredible game. But when you get it on the tube, Kentucky seems to put up a hell of a fight, and in some years wins that game somehow. And so you get these, you get just these awesome matchups. And it's not to say the Big Ten doesn't have some of that vibe, but you're exactly right. I agree. USC, Illinois doesn't exactly have the same ring to it that, Bama, Georgia has, or like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, like I'm not even convinced. See, this is for me personally.
Why
is the problem.
Spinning? Why are you spinning?
Convinced. Well, because I'm trying to be fair, right? I'm trying again.
Why?
I'm working hard.
Why?
I'm working hard not to be an absolute asshole about the Big Ten.
Well, that would be an improvement.
Yeah, somehow I always find my way back to the yellow brick road that leads me back down the path of, even though it's Dan Lanning, and I'm the president of the knee pad union for Dan Lanning, even though it's Dan Lanning in Penn State, I'm not even convinced that that's the best game of the week on the college football slate. That's the problem. And it's Oregon at Penn State in Penn State's whiteout game, which again is typically a really good game. But again, you look at the SEC schedule and it's like, dude, look at these games over here. How are you not excited about what's happening over here? That's the hard part.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how all that plays out. It is. I think it is without question. It's without question that I feel like the SEC plays the biggest games every single week, and I think Ohio State. And I agree with you. Obviously, knuckle deep, Oregon, huge game. Okay, great. So you've got two big games in the Big Ten. If you look at the schedule, Ohio State, Bama, Georgia is the biggest game in college football this weekend. No doubt about it. But if I look at Auburn, Texas A&M now is a very big game. The LSU and Ole Miss in the SIP, that's a huge game.
Great game.
Right? It continues week in and week out. And this is why firing Mike Gundy was so critical for the Big 12, because I'm begging you in this conference, I'm begging you to raise the gosh darn bar, raise the bar, play bigger games, hire better coaches, recruit better players, win bigger games, make more money, draw more TV audience, bring in more all-state sponsorships. Like, I'm begging you to do everything that the SEC has been doing for years on end already, which is why they're in the position that they're in. And I say all of this to say it's really difficult to overcome what the SEC has built now. And it's very few teams. And again, this is why I have so much respect for what Ohio State's built, because I feel like Ohio State has really been able to overcome the scandal-ridden Big Ten can't get the job done on a regular basis league that the Big Ten has become.
Ohio State.
And much to their credit, the ACC finds a way to be relevant. Obviously, with Ohio State being the best team in the country for several years now, the Big Ten is relevant. The SEC is always relevant. And who's not? The Big 12. It is the story of college football. The Big 12 cannot seem to find a way to be relevant on a year in and year out basis. And it's because of things like Mike Gundy not winning a game last year and instead getting to keep his job. So I'm happy that happened. But at the end of the day, should the college football playoff be expanded? Like, Jake, what is ideally, how many teams would you put in?
Yeah, I mean, I think 20 is a nice number. I think the thing that gets all the attention is how many teams should be in the college football playoff. But I'm not even sure that that's the most important factor. I think the most important factor is still how we decide those teams, because this sort of grappling match over like AQs and like how we're going about determining like who gets in, who doesn't get in, and if you get in, how much money are you making versus not getting in? Like, those are all things where I say, like, dude, like, we got to be on the same page. We got to be in a place where everybody, and this is why you're seeing all this, hey, everyone's playing 9 conference games and 10 P4s or whatever. That's why you're seeing all of this, but I'm just a little bit, burned out on like 16 teams, 20 teams, 80 teams. Like, dude, okay, great. Like, whatever number you feel like works for the greater good, awesome. But I don't want to keep talking about Florida State getting stiffed or 9-3 Alabama not getting in. Like, I want it to be like, that's where I think the actual progress needs to be made. And I think,
not the number, but how.
Yeah, not the number, but how. I mean, because I could create a college football playoff that's 40 teams deep, but if getting in is super complicated and convoluted and the average football fan doesn't understand it.
Not even that, dude. What if it's the opposite? Well, everybody gets in.
Then you don't have a college football playoff.
Isn't that worse than not having? See, and that's why I think it can't be 20, 24, 32. I think 16 is a really good number as long as the criteria is locked in. You won this many games. You did not. Oh, you guys both won 9 games? Okay, well then the criteria says that you're out and you're in. Congratulations. That it's black and white, so we don't get any more, idiot Jabba the Ann Arbor, fixing the college football playoff last year and slanting it to the Big Ten and putting ACC teams in that had no business being in. And I think, again, it worked out perfectly because screw Michigan and Ohio State went on a run of a lifetime.
Screw Michigan, screw cock on thigh,
I think I personally don't think, and I don't care how many teams are in the new entity, which is coming, by the way. I think it's 16 teams. and it is based on wins and losses and rock solid tiebreakers. We don't need a 20 to 24 team playoff. What does that accomplish?
Well, the only thing I think it opens or puts on the table for conversation is just obviously the TV money portion of it or ad dollar portion of it. But I mean, at that point, what are you talking about? Like 2-3 more games at that point? Like it's not like we're talking about another month worth of college football at that point.
No.
It's not like there's hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars that are being lost by not doing 20 instead of 16. And so but
isn't that why you have to take out automatic qualifiers?
I mean, I think you should have to take out automatic qualifiers. I see, again, though, it's the easy answer, but this is why it needs to be the NFL minor league model, because again, we have this very clear situation of like, hey, if you do X, you're qualified. You've made the playoffs, you've made the college football playoff. And then we have it's much like I feel like college football needs this desperately to be clear, but like in college basketball, we have like the last weekend of the season where it's like, hey, like you got to win this game, or you got to do, like, we know what those teams need to do to kind of get in. And I feel like it's this situation every year where it's like, okay, well, if you win this game, but then these three do X, Y, or Z, then we're not sure if you're in or not. Like that's what needs to change. And I think that, the word that comes to mind about this is the exclusivity of it. Like you can't have, too many slots, or else it devalues the pool.
No, it doesn't devalue the pool. What does it really devalue? Well, it devalues the regular season. It devalues the games that we've all come to love so much. And it's why I am 100% all in. Give me a new entity, wins and losses, tiebreakers. Let's go play football.
Yeah.
And I think it is vitally important that we eliminate automatic qualifiers, because if we're being honest, going to a bowl game anymore doesn't matter. Now it's, are you in the playoff or are you not? And I think the bowl game product is still going to be there. It makes good money. It's going to be there. What I'm telling you is we cannot devalue the regular season. I think we cannot devalue, like, I don't know if conference championship games remain as valuable as we all make them. My feeling is, in a new entity, that goes away anyway. But I am passionate that automatic qualifiers can no longer be part of this process. We need a new college football entity that eliminates the NCAA, thereby eliminating automatic qualifiers, and you put the P4 into a new entity. And I know everybody's going to be like, well, Monty, what about Boise State? Well, you can't please all the people all the time. And I will remain steadfast. The G5, whether you want to believe me or not, I am telling you, the G5 is exploring their own playoff system that will make them exponentially more money, which is exactly what they should do. And if you want to say, hey, the champion of the G5 playoff gets an auto bid into the college football playoff, maybe. But under no circumstances can AQs continue, and can we devalue the regular season? Because I want Georgia, Florida to be a leverage game. I want the Iron Bowl to be a leverage game. I want the Civil War to be a leverage game. I want the Holy War to be a leverage game. I want regular season games in September and October and November to matter, because that's what the heart and soul of college football is and has been. I'm 53, and I am telling you now, or I will be 53. I am telling you now, Notre Dame, Michigan, Notre Dame, SC, Notre Dame, Miami, those games mattered in my childhood. And I just cannot get on board with any scenario where rivalry games and big games, the Red River Shootout, you pick the one. I cannot get on board in a scenario where those games get devalued, because I don't think it's the right thing to do. And I'm just not willing to do it. I truly am not.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. More.
So, in the comments section, how many teams do you want in the college football playoff? How many years have we argued over it? Because this has got to be year 4 that we've argued over this. 16. I think 16 is a good number. Uh-oh. He said Red River shoot. I know.
Dude, come on, dude.
I'm a bad person.
What the fuck are you, Angel Rick?
Yeah, how many times am I going to tell you guys I'm a bad person? It's fine. LOL, Assmaster 5000 session sharding. Okay. Day-old donuts. Monty, then we need to end the FCS games. I don't disagree with that at all. And again, I continue to sit here and tell you guys, the biggest problem in the Big Ten is they don't play anybody the first month of the season. And there is a very clear delineation. Like you look at the absolute frauds in Knuckle Deep Country and Happy Ending Valley on Epstein Island, and we're undefeated. And you've played Nevada, FIU, and Villanova. And now you get Oregon on Epstein Island, and then you go to UCLA. So you're going to play 5 games. 4 of them are wins before you ever even start practice that week. Like, what kind of schedule is that? Right? And I mean, I at least give somebody like an SC credit because you play 2 cupcakes and you go into conference play. Okay. I look at Ohio State. They've got Texas, Grambling, Ohio, and now they're playing at Washington. I give them a lot of credit for that. I oddly enough, I give Michigan a lot of credit. Michigan's played at Oklahoma and at Nebraska and split those 2 games.
Why would the Big Ten play anybody when they don't have to? James Franklin is 4-20 against top 10 opponents.
I agree, man. I don't know. I don't know. Mike Smith, well, Monty with the I want. Simmer down, Veruca Salt, with the I wants. Veruca Salt. That's a hell of a poll, my guy. Hey, Tony, Anthony.
Hey, Tone the barber.
Auto bids are the only way that makes sense. Take humans and computer polls out of it, make a complete and exact formula. I'm telling you, that's coming. I have talked to so many people in college football who want nothing to do with Jabba the Manual last year. I have talked to so many people who want a clear line. You won enough games or you didn't. And if you're tied, here is a rock solid tiebreaker. Oh, I know, the NFL model of getting in or not getting in. And I think it's the only way forward, honestly. Lopes fan Gabe, like button, casuals. Yeah, I got chewed out. Yesterday because I'm not saying hit the like button, guys.
Hit the like button, guys.
Hit the like button. You guys would have so many more subscribers if you tell people to hit the like button.
I'm sure.
I'm terrible at it, and I appreciate guys like Lopes fan Gabe who continue to pound it.
Bro, really? Really, dude?
What you want me to say to them?
Honestly, I'd start stroking, guys.
Jake, I need my drops back. My mixer broke, so I got a brand new mixer, and I don't have any of my drops. Quote, too many teams to value the regular season. That's why college basketball is worth as little as it is. The regular season doesn't really count. Any team worth anything gets in. So why watch till March? It's a great point and a great comparison. Steely, James and Dana in the Civic could be. He's charting the Mike Gundy addiction group. I believe he is.
Bro.
Oak State James takes it on this show every day. Day-old donuts,
dude,
Red Vines or Twizzlers? What?
What am I supposed to say to that? Oak State James takes it on this show every day.
He does. Am I on live stream? Am I wrong?
Length and girth.
Right? Length and girth. And I'm being a jerk. I'm sorry. I'm having a major text incident.
Yeah, I'm
texting with somebody about a different major story that I'm trying to, Red Vines all day long. Twizzlers are.
Yeah, Twizzlers are mid, dude.
But again, crusty old Monty. I don't eat red dye number 40 or really any artificial colors anymore, any artificial dyes. So I love red vines. I would snort cocaine through a red vine if I did cocaine, but I don't. So I don't usually do that. But
Cocaine
fat
is a hell
ass,
of a drug.
yeah, the fat ass inside of me. I used to love chocolate Twizzlers. Drinking chocolate milk through a chocolate Twizzler is what life is about. Okay, I mean,
Brother.
Look, seriously, before we all found sex as men, tell me you didn't drink chocolate milk through a chocolate Twizzler. And if you didn't, your mom hated you. And that's probably true, but it is what it is.
Sucking a ding dong.
Vibrator Jim. Man, it's only Wednesday.
I've prayed for moments like that.
Bro, what kind of name is that, dude?
And why do you have an electrical outlet as an avatar?
I think we understand why that's his picture, bro.
Charging that thing up. Wyoming, a top 7 team in the state, has still not been invited to the SEC. What are we doing,
bro?
Right?
What are we doing with that name, dude? Come on.
Dude, are the Dodgers ever going to win another game, Chewy? Like, again, I'm not trying to be a red ass about Shohei Ohtani pitching. Did you guys see this mess last night for the Dodgers?
Well, Ohtani went like 15 scoreless innings. They took him out and they lost the game.
6 innings, 5 hits, no earned, 8 Ks, 91 pitches. And again, I'm not trying to rain on your parade, my guy. Why don't you sign me and put me in the bullpen? I could do just as poorly as the guys you're running out there. I am telling you now, and I know we have a lot of Dodger fans on this show. Hello, Los Angeles. We appreciate all the support. The Dodgers will not win a World Series with this bullpen. And I understand you owe guys like $1 million a year through like 2,178. But
it's the deferred money, Monty.
Dude, you don't have a bullpen. You're not winning. Trust me, I'm a Cub fan. I know it. Let's see. Who else is in today? Two Pants. Expand to a number where, quote, first team out isn't a realistic contender for a natty. I don't disagree with that. Brian says the Big Ten has the last 2 national champions. They don't. Only in that conference, only Ohio State has won a national championship recently. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but Monty off for a piss break. No, unfortunately, what happened? Sometimes the people don't respect.
I don't live in a what if scenario.
What if people didn't call me during the show? What if people didn't text me during the show with really important sourcing information? Monty took too much buckshot today. Dude, the Black Ant pre-workout have you guys seen this blowing up? Buckedup.com, use promo code Monty to get 20% off at checkout. You guys, I am telling you, Black Ant pre-workout with 100% of your daily creatine is amazing. It is the hottest pre-workout on the market. Get it at buckedup.com. Use the promo code Monty, M-O-N-T-Y, Monty. If you are not taking creatine, collagen, if you are not taking, I personally am a believer you need to take magnesium every day. But if you're not getting if you're a guy that works out, you're not taking pre-workout, this Black Ant stuff will change your life. And it's 20% off when you use the promo code Monty.
Lidocaine and B12.
I am just telling you now. Hey, Monty, buckshot or smelling salt? Smelling salt it will wreck your life. That stuff. I almost died on the Utah Grizzlies bench when I was doing hockey games, when I was broadcasting hockey games. Dude, those smelling salts they will end you. Dodgers need Tylenol, bleach to drink, and powerful UV lights. Dude, they need something in the bullpen because it is rough. The natural. Reds lose to the Pirates, Cubs lose to the Mets. Dude, can the Cubs win another game? We were up 6-1 and lost that game. I just am amazed. Tony, Epstein State U should have an auto bid to the NAIA playoffs every year. I am telling you, the Knuckle Deep boys, the pedos in Happy Ending Valley should not have a football program. So, Dodgers have a bunch of Gundys in the bullpen. They really do. Dale Donuts, are people assuming early playoff games will play as much as sim final games will? Well, I don't know. I think it makes zero sense to have the purse equal across the bracket.
Yeah, why would you do that?
I think if you win a first round game, it should be $1. You win a second round game, it should be $2. A third round game it should double in the early rounds, and then there should be a huge purse for the winner of the national championship game. So, Vibrator Jim, didn't Michigan win 2 years ago? No, I don't think so. Cheating your way to a victory doesn't count. So,
Why don't you fuck off?
They did. I'm being a jerk wagon. Timothy O'Hara. I know this is going to upset Monty, but every team should be in every team in a conference if you want to make because that model has not worked and it caps you financially. But I love all the people who get the blood flowing to the lower level when they try to find a reason that Notre Dame, who's not only thriving but prospering, is the clearly one of the economic leaders in college football. Oh yeah, they need to change what they're doing. Join a conference.
Notre Dame, our mother.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Michigan, Ann Arbor, Astros. Exactly right. That's exactly right. Take a quick break while Stadium James resets the devices in his ass and gets that thing put back together. That plus much, much more on the Monty Show.
Hugh Janus.
King of Thailand, Manjaro has done things to me the 5 days I am different. Oh, do tell. You guys, if you're not on Zepbound, I'm telling you, if you need to lose weight, I've now lost just short of 30 pounds since August 6th, and sleeping better, eating better, working out better, waking up every morning and the flag is at the top of the pole. Like I'm telling you,
bro.
The natural Ann Arbor Astros has a great ring to it. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yeah.
Dude. Well, wake up every day and the flag's up the pole. I mean, it's incredible.
Dude, I'm telling you. Mapes, hold up. Is this 23 championship gear? I bought the fake stuff that gets sent to poor places. It is.
Because it's garbage.
It is. The scumbag losers in Ann Arbor cheated your way to a championship. James is charting his special time with his right hand, a.k.a. Dana. Chica pow, chica pow pow, chica pow pow. It's never going away. I still think you do 14 teams and do 2 wild card games in the CFP to get to 16 total teams. I'd be open to that. Cam Harris says, no, soundbite. Okay, why are we? God, you guys are.
No.
No. Michigan has a big old chocolate starfish symbol next to their natty. So it is going to be that. It is going to be that way.
Yeah, we're
Jake, e-bike purchase yet?
Not a chance. No interest.
Really? Why don't you? You wouldn't. You don't want to. I bought a bike that's e-assisted. I have a Trek Verve.
Yeah, I mean, it just isn't like. I don't know. I mean, it's not really set like where you live. It's kind of easy to like ride around through the neighborhoods and stuff. But where I live, it's not really like that. It's just like one neighborhood off the main road, and now you're on the road with the cars and the dualies, and you're like I'm probably 15 minutes from Eugene. So it's just not. I don't really have a great use for it. I'm sure it'd be fun though.
It is fun. I haven't even opened the box yet. 30 pounds sounds like an extra inch to me. Oh.
Can you measure it?
She'd confirm for you. Oh, look. Dana Marie, dude, I'm at work. When I am talking about charting, this isn't a joke. Yeah, you stop joking about Oak State James and the things he says.
Shit.
Yeah, okay? He is charting the gospel, my friend.
The victory has already been won.
That's right. That's right. Jakey about to have a little brother, Zepbound style.
Brother.
Exactly. And, you know, it's one of those things where, never mind. Nope. Yes. No. Yes.
No.
Jake is getting the seatless model. Okay. Wow.
I don't know why you're making butthole jokes about me. I'm not the one that's got an account named Vibrator Jim, Dana Marie, and you know, Stadium Guy James. You know.
You can make fun of me all you want. My job is not okay to joke about.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Relax.
Here we go.
Please.
Dude, this show is, do not take anything. This
Look,
show
Tanner,
is.
take it easy, dude.
James. I think James needs to be reminded that you're a character on the show. You're a huge part of the show.
Hey, look here, man.
We talk about you. The comment section talks about you every day.
Every damn day, bro.
Embrace it. You say stupid shit. Like you stuck a probe up your ass. Everybody knows the butt buzzer now.
But when you share something like that, that's going to garner nicknames like Assmaster 5000. That's what's going to happen in the comment section. It's an inevitability, dude. It is part of the culture of the show.
Ipso facto, it's fine.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah, the butt buzzer's yours, dude. I'm sticking with butt buzzer. That's the way. Yeah. And I can confirm through two sources that Greg Sankey has spoken to President Trump this week about the college football playoff and this new score act.
And it's very powerful.
So I'm telling you guys, this is moving faster than you probably think. Yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting to see how all this plays out. The score act, I think, is going to happen because that's the only way. I think it's a long way. I think this is going to be at least a year, but I still maintain before the midterms next year, the score act will happen because Donnie's had a turbulent 9 months, and I think he's looking for a win. And if we know Donnie and when he wants it done,
hydroxychloroquine.
And right now he's got the horses to pull the cart. It needs to get done. 14 teams for the playoffs and use NFL model for seeding and tiebreakers. I'm here for it. Jake needs a free hand to fend off bears in the Oregon woods. Could be.
Sure, man.
Could be.
Man.
Could absolutely be. I think. Yeah. Exact. Oh, sorry. Dang it. Mapes made a comment about don't go full soaker mode. Yeah, just relax, you guys.
I don't even understand. What was even the joke about your job? Like
about charting and
yeah.
Can I just tell you? Can I just tell you? Nobody even knows what you do. Man.
Yeah, nobody even knows what charting like means as far as your job is concerned. The dude, bro, did you fully settled into Thailand? That's what this energy is right now. That's what this is, dude.
Oh, I am this is why I love this show. And this is all we do is sit here and talk sports the way dudes talk sports. That's what this show is about. And that we get millions of people who watch this show a month. Do you guys understand that? Oak State James, do you understand that millions and millions of people every month watch this show? And you're like, don't you talk about my job like that. Like, bro, settle down. Drink chocolate milk through a strawberry straw. You do you. Just
let's ride.
That's why when people get all upset, when people are like, oh, Michigan won.
Bro, you're literally something people look forward to on the program, bro. Like, people are in here to try to figure out how they can prove that Dana Marie is your burner account, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah, I love day trading. I made a few bucks this week. Rapture Day +1 still slamming Tylenol and yelling F the world. Exactly right.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Exactly right. Jeremy Hinshaw, why are you guys hating on the Big Ten today? Did they announce something? No, we're not hating on the Big Ten. This is, and I appreciate you asking. For those of you just getting to the show today, we're talking about the fight for the college football playoff, and we've been reporting on this show for the better part of a year that Greg Sankey and I want to say Tony Petitti, I think for the last 8 months, there's a schism between those two. They had a falling out over AQs because, according to our sources, Greg Sankey doesn't want AQs. Greg Sankey wants it to be strength of schedule, strength of opponent, how many games you won.
Which, in my opinion, is how it should be, just for the record.
It is as simple as, if you're going to play a 12-game schedule, you need to play 12 P4 teams. And the only way to do that across the board is to have this new entity, a super league, as we used to call it, but to have this new entity, and Tony Petitti does not want that. He's got his athletic directors trying to find models that will keep automatic qualifiers for the Big Ten in place, because Tony Petitti is well aware he does not have the strength of schedule in conference to fight this fight. And you're starting to see the SEC, and again, I'll just go back to the schedule. The reason that this schematic right here matters is because it's very difficult to argue against 2026 Alabama when that schedule that's going to include Auburn, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, A&M, and LSU, and who knows where Vandy goes. But Vandy, it's going to be very difficult to keep Alabama out of the college football playoff. And he knows that by any measure, that if Alabama wins their games, you look at Georgia, they're playing Auburn, Florida, South Carolina, Missouri, Oklahoma, Alabama, Arkansas, and Ole Miss. It's going to be really tough to keep Georgia out of the college football playoff. It's going to be really tough to keep the Ole Miss out of the playoff when they have LSU, Oklahoma, Georgia, Auburn, Missouri, Florida, Texas, and Vandy. So Greg Sankey doesn't need automatic qualifiers. I think Greg Sankey wants a 16-team format in a new entity that is solely determined by how many games you won. And if you both won 10 games, what was your strength of schedule and what was your record against P4s or common P4 opponents? Because I am telling you now, when this new entity gets here, and I am told that this is one of the specific conversations that Greg Sankey and Brett Yormark have talked about and agreed upon, that when a new entity gets here, you will only play P4 teams. That's it, period. End of story. You will not play G5s. You will not play Waxahachie Coffee Grinders University. You will play P4 opponents, and they will all be part of this new entity, and you will not play games outside of the new entity. Period. End of story. And when you do it that way, it is almost, what is your record? What is your strength of schedule? And that strength of schedule will include a strength of opponent component, right? And then what is your record against common opponents? In or out? And that's what it has to be. But the Big Ten wants to keep these insular structures that have allowed the Big Ten to get Kakanthai in last year, to get Michigan to win a national championship, that got Indiana, that got, like, when you're able to get Indiana last year with that strength of schedule, when they lost every game of consequence, when you're able to put, the Epstein Island guys into the playoff and they play SMU and Boise, and then they get their doors blown off because Drew Aller actually does not play well in big games. The Big Ten knows it's got an advantage in that scenario. And if the Big Ten's got an advantage, the SEC has a disadvantage. Because you can't even argue, in my opinion, you can't even argue. You put out this schedule schematic, the Big Ten's fucked because you cannot compete with this. You cannot compete with this. You just can't.
Well,
like when you look at all these opponents on a yearly basis, the Big Ten cannot compete with that.
But I think the difference now is that if SC, Oregon, and Washington pick up the pace, if Oregon, like as an example, if Oregon doesn't flop in the CFP last year, and then USC's going the right way, and let's say Washington continues to go the right way, then you potentially have a mix of like, obviously Ohio State, Michigan, I hate to say it, cock on thigh.
But how many times are we going to talk about what if Oregon? What if the Knuckle Deep Boys had not gotten blown out by Notre Dame? How many what ifs are and I'm not picking on you because I think I was listening to Joel Klatt on the Herd today. And it's this exact conversation about, what if the rapture was real and James Franklin had actually been left behind and Dan Lanning had gone to heaven? Well, maybe Penn State could win that game this weekend. But that's about
Valhalla.
There's too many what if scenarios. We have to play too many mental Olympics to figure out if the Big Ten is better than the SEC. Well, it does. I don't even think it's a question. And I know that tweaks a lot of people, and that's probably not a popular opinion. Because if you look at where our real viewership is, the state of Utah, the state of California, the state of Arizona, the state of Florida, the state of Texas, the state of California, like those are not big SEC hotbeds. And I understand ACC fan, and I understand Big Ten fan, and I understand Big 12 fan. But at the end of the day, at some point, the truth has to matter. Who's playing bigger games of consequence in November, the Big Ten or the SEC? It's the SEC, and it's not fucking close. I mean, if we look at, and I truly think Indiana is absolutely the perfect example of this.
Google me.
Because if you look at Ohio State, if you look at Ohio State, look at their schedule at the end of the year. And from this weekend forward, at Washington, quality win. Minnesota, not great. At Illinois, I don't know. They got their ass kicked last week. But
That's
quality
win this year.
Wisconsin, at Wisconsin.
Not a quality win.
Knuckle Deep Boys.
Quality win.
At Purdue. UCLA, Rutgers, and then they play at Michigan. That's not a great schedule. Right? That's not a great it's good. But it's only good because Illinois and Washington are sort of raising the bar. Washington's not ranked. And I think Washington's one of the 25 best teams in the country. I don't even question that, right? But if I go look at Penn State, how does Penn State not go undefeated? Oh, that's right. They did all those terrible crimes to children, so their karma's bad.
How do they not go undefeated? James Franklin's 4-20 against top 10 teams. So,
Oregon, at UCLA, Northwestern, at Iowa, at Ohio State, Indiana, at Michigan State, Nebraska, Rutgers. They play nobody the last month of the season. Oh, we're on a roll, Monty. Look at us. Oh, my God.
Excuse me. We are
not. Right? But that's my issue. Indiana. Again, Indiana. Here's Indiana's schedule. Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State, Illinois, Iowa, at Oregon, Michigan State, UCLA, at Maryland, cock on thigh, Wisconsin, at Purdue. That's not a great schedule.
No.
So isn't Indiana at Epstein Island? Isn't that an elimination game then?
Should be.
Not if you have automatic qualifiers.
Well, that's why the Big Ten wants automatic qualifiers.
Yes,
but I think,
which is my entire point.
Yeah, I think the balls of it too is like, the Big Ten went on this whole charade about the SEC not playing 9 conference games and 10 P4s and all that, and now the SEC flipped the script on it, and like, so now it's like, all right, well, the Big Ten doesn't have a mandate yet, and while I believe the number is like 91% of the league or something like that, it's every team except for like 4 left. It's like, I can't remember the teams. It's like Maryland and Rutgers and or whatever. Like you have Washington, I think was one. There's like 4 or 5 teams that don't play 9 conference games this year. So to me, it's like, the Big Ten has had this flipped on them now. And I think that what's difficult about that is there was this whole play over the summer, like all the Big Ten homers in the chat are like, oh, we are affecting change, Monty. We've got the SEC by the balls, like Tony Petit or die. And it's like, well, now that didn't really work out for you, because now we've got scheduling matrices showing you that the SEC is going to play a better schedule than you basically every single year, unless, Lincoln can figure it out in LA and Jed can figure it out with Washington. Because in my opinion, whether you like them or not, Oregon's a quality win right now, right? Like, I mean, like in the regular season, Oregon right now today is a quality win. So for me with the Big Ten, I think you've got 4 teams that would be considered a quality win, right? And obviously that's Oregon, Ohio State, and Michigan. Those 4 to me are quality wins, even with Michigan being down. Like, I would say the Oklahoma win over Michigan was a really quality win for Oklahoma. So I think the problem for the Big Ten is that you don't have 5, 6, 7, 8 teams the way the SEC does. You have 4 right now if you want to be nice about Michigan. And that's why I'm saying it needs to change. But I think the good news, if you're a Big Ten fan, is that at least now you have teams in the conference that theoretically, should be able to improve. And that wasn't the case as soon as 2 seasons ago. So
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. All right, a Monty Show exclusive coming up in 30 seconds, and it's exactly about this. It is a big story, and I think it largely changes the frame of this discussion quite a bit. I'll tell you what it is after this from the advocates.
You're not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
The Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business, and I'll continue to tell you this on a regular basis, you guys. When you get in a car accident, I am begging you, please do not trust your insurance company. They are not working for you. How many times in this country have we seen somebody's house burned down? You didn't have fire insurance. A hurricane. Well, it wasn't the hurricane. It was the flooding. Oh, you had flood insurance. No, it was the wind. Well, they're always fighting to find a way not to pay you. You get in a car accident, you get hurt at work. Your neighbor's dog attacks your child or you. You didn't deserve that, but you do deserve an advocate, somebody who can fight for you, somebody who's fought the fight and won the fight that you're about to take part in. Yeah, you need that. That's the Advocates. They fought insurance companies. They've beaten insurance companies. That's why they're the best insurance fighter in the business. Get clear, risk-free advice right now and 24 hours a day, 365 days a year at theadvocates.com.